What if your dreams weren't just random fragments of your day, but messages from the deepest part of your psyche? Carl Jung believed they were exactly that. In this video, we'll explore what dreams really mean and how they can guide you through your waking life. To Jung, the unconscious wasn't just a place where forgotten memories go to sleep. It was a living system, intelligent, autonomous, and purposeful. He believed that our psyche isn't limited to the ego, the small part of us that we identify with when we say I. There is something deeper, something older, a vast landscape beneath our conscious awareness. And dreams, Jung said, are the royal road to this inner world. Unlike Freud, who saw dreams as expressions of repressed desires, Jung saw them as attempts at balance and integration. Not random, not meaningless, but deeply intentional, even when they seem strange or chaotic. He believed the unconscious was trying to guide us, to bring the conscious and unconscious mind into harmony, to make us more whole. This process he called individuation, a lifelong journey of becoming who you truly are. And dreams, they're like nighttime letters from your deeper self, offering insight, healing, and sometimes warning. They come not to trick you, but to teach you, to show you what your waking mind has missed, what you're not yet ready to see. That's why Jung treated dreams with reverence. He saw them not as illusions, but as truths wrapped in mystery. Dreams don't use the language of logic. They speak in symbols, ancient, layered, and deeply personal. You won't find bullet points or direct instructions in a dream. Instead, you'll find a snake coiled beneath your feet, a door you can't open, a child who won't speak. Each of these images holds meaning. But the key is that meaning is not universal. It lives in your emotional world, your life, your story. Still, there are patterns. Across cultures and centuries, people dream of falling, flying, being lost or found. Jung believed this is because certain symbols come from the collective unconscious, a vast psychic inheritance shared by all human beings. Within it live the archetypes, the wise old man, the great mother, the hero, the shadow, the self. These aren't just characters, they're psychic energies, forces that shape our inner world, even if we're not aware of them. When an archetype appears in a dream, it's not random. It's a signal, a message. The self is trying to bring something to consciousness, something you may need to grow, to heal, or to understand. But here's the paradox. Dreams don't tell you what to think. They invite you to explore, to ask, why this image now? Why this feeling? What part of me does this dream reveal? In Jung's view, a dream is not an answer, it's a doorway. And the courage to walk through that door is where transformation begins. Among all the archetypes, there's one that is especially uncomfortable, and yet it is one of the most important: the shadow. The shadow is everything you don't want to see in yourself, everything you've repressed, denied, or judged as unacceptable. Your anger, your envy, your fear, your shame. But here's the truth: the shadow isn't evil, it's simply human. It contains your raw emotion, your untapped energy, your creative fire. In dreams, the shadow often appears in unsettling forms: a stranger following you, a distorted version of yourself, an animal you're afraid of. These images are not punishments, they are invitations. The shadow wants to be seen, not to control you, but to complete you. Jung believed that to become whole, you must face what you fear within yourself, not by fighting it, but by listening. To work with the shadow is to sit with discomfort, to admit that you are not only the things you're proud of, but also the things you've tried to bury. And in that brave encounter, there is a kind of alchemy. What was once dark becomes a source of light. Your dreams may disturb you, but disturb means to shake, to wake you from illusion. And sometimes that is exactly what your soul is asking for. Before we continue, please take a second to like this video. It really helps more people discover these ideas. And if you're enjoying this journey into the mysteries of the mind, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next. Now, back to the video. Dreams often fade the moment we wake, so the first key is attention. Keep a notebook by your bed. As soon as you wake, Before reaching for your phone or stepping into the day, write everything you remember, not just events, but colors, moods, a symbol that lingered. It doesn't have to make sense. In fact, it probably won't, but record it anyway, because meaning often reveals itself over time. When you read the same dream a week later, or spot a pattern months down the road, once you've written it down, ask questions. What emotion was strongest in the dream? Who or what appeared? And how did I feel about them? What part of my life right now could this reflect? But don't rush to interpret. Dreams resist being solved like puzzles. They prefer to be sat with, listened to, like a quiet friend with something important to say. You might also try amplification, a Jungian technique where you explore related myths, stories, or associations tied to a symbol. If you dreamt of a lion, for instance, you might look at its cultural meanings: courage, danger, royalty, pride. Then ask, which of these speaks to me most right now? You can even dialogue with the dream. Imagine asking the figure or object, why are you here? What do you want me to know? There are no wrong answers, only deeper layers. With time, you may find that your dreams begin to respond to you, as if a relationship is forming between your conscious self and the inner world. Because it is. And in that quiet, intimate space, something sacred begins to unfold, a conversation with the soul. In our modern world, we're trained to ignore dreams, to see them as meaningless noise, or just mental leftovers. But Jung saw dreams as the most natural expression of the psyche, a mirror reflecting not just what we know, but what we need to know. When we ignore our dreams, we cut ourselves off from a source of wisdom. We lose touch with the mystery of who we are. And often we feel lost, not because we lack direction, but because we've silenced the inner compass. But when we listen, truly listen, something shifts. We begin to feel accompanied, guided, known. Dreams remind us that the psyche is always speaking, always trying to help us heal, evolve, and become more fully ourselves. They don't just tell us about the past, they prepare us for the future. They show us what wants to emerge, what needs to be faced, what is longing to be born. To Jung, a dream was never just a dream. It was a sacred text, written not in ink, but in symbol, image, and emotion. And the act of reading it was the beginning of transformation. So maybe tonight, as you fall asleep, you'll ask your unconscious a question. And maybe, if you're willing to listen, you'll receive an answer, softly, in the language of dreams. Carl Jung believed that dreams are not meaningless illusions, but vital messages from the unconscious, a guiding voice beneath the surface of our everyday lives. Through symbols and archetypes, through emotions and images, our dreams reveal the parts of ourselves we've forgotten, avoided, or never fully known. They invite us into dialogue with the soul, not to escape reality, but to understand it more deeply. So the next time a strange or vivid dream lingers with you, pause, listen, and remember, your inner world is always speaking. The question is, are you willing to hear it? Thank you for watching. If this video stirred something in you, a curiosity, a question, leave a comment below. And if you'd like to explore more about the psyche, philosophy, and inner growth, consider subscribing. There's always more to explore. See you in the next video.